All right, today is a beautiful day. It is a green bean day. I got a lot of fresh green beans and they were already cut at the tips. So I snapped them and now I made some onions. And I'm putting onions and garlic in with them and a little seasoning. And then I will process them. And I'll let you see what they look like after I put in the garlic and seasoning. And I forgot to tell you that I have a tamper. One end is small for small jars, and the other end is big. And I have one small quart, but these other quarts are wide mouth. And you just put your tamper in and press down. This is especially good whenever you're doing cabbage, sauerkraut, whatever. It is great to tamper your foods down. Now this is giving me room to put the garlic and the seasoning in. All right. And I also just wanted to show you that these are the tomatoes off the vine that I found in a brown bag underneath my table that I forgot was there. They were green and they actually turned red, and they had been there. They had to be there a couple weeks. But I did them last night, and this is how they came out, and they look really nice. They look great. Waste not, want not, right? And now I'm going to add a half tablespoon of Scott seasoning. You remember I was showing you guys in another video, we make Scott seasoning, everything that we like mixed together. So I'll put in a half tablespoon of that in each one. I want it too seasoned because green beans, garlic, and onions are seasoned enough by themselves. All right. All right, now I will put the water in them. And what I'll use is, instead of the regular tap water, I'm going to go ahead and use we have well water here, and we have the reverse osmosis water. So I'm going to put the reverse osmosis water in here. Nice clean water. Oops, get my hand off of it. Up to the neck. There we go. Up to the neck. And then I'll do the others. All right. All right. I ended up with 6 quarts of green beans and onions, garlic, and seasoning. So now I'm going to wipe off the tops with vinegar and paper towels and put the lids on. And I'm going to put them in a pressure can that has 2 quarts of water in it, because that's about all you need unless you're doing something for a long time like meat or fish or something. And I'm going to put them in, process them. Where I live at, it will be 15-pound pressure for 25 minutes for quarts. Quarts are in. As you can see, I reuse lids and it works. You know, sometimes you got to watch out because, you know, people try to get you to just waste money. You know, they just want you to buy. I get my directions sometimes from the Mennonites, and they said, 1, they never heard of botulism, and number 2, they don't cover their jars with water. This is just what I heard. I'm not telling anybody else to do it. And they just put the jars in and pour the water in to come up to where the food is at. Okay, for where the head of the food is at. And number 3, they don't debubble. They said they never heard of debubbling. And number 4, they do not use new lids until necessary. So here we go with the seasoning in it, and I'm waiting for this to heat up. Let me put my lid back on. I wanted to add to my video while I'm waiting for my green beans to heat up. I have them on high, and I'm waiting for them to heat up, and then I'll put the weight on them. But I was talking about botulism earlier, and I just wanted to let you know that I was talking to a few Mennonite ladies, okay, that can, and they said, like I said, they never heard of debubbling and all that kind of stuff, and they never heard of botulism. And do you know that one of the main cases, the main ways of getting botulism, more than canning or anything else, is when people get those face injections? There's botulism in those face injections. And what happens is that whoever, you know, the higher ups, did tests, and they included canning in those tests, and it scared people to death. But botulism mainly comes from the injections that people get in their face or whatever. Not very often do you hear of people dying from botulism. There are stories, but not many. I love the sound of a weight jiggling on a canner on a cool, crisp day. I have my green beans in. I'll show you what they look like whenever I'm done. 1 more minute, and they will be done. There they go. Now I'll turn off the stove and the timer. And I will let them sit there. Sometimes I move them, but I'm not going to move it this time. Sometimes I move it over to the cool eye, but I'm not going to move it this time because it has 8 quarts of green beans in it, and I don't want to mismove, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to let these sit. It's 3:46. I might have to let them sit about 40 minutes or so until it all cools down, because while it's cooling, it's still cooking, if that makes any sense. It's still pressurizing the food. So I'll wait until this top thing goes down. And when it goes down, then I will take that off, the weight off. After that goes down, number 1. Number 2, then you take the weight off. Then number 3, then you open up the lid partially and just set it back just a teensy. We take it and open up about maybe that much. Take it and set it back a teeny bit. Let them get acclimated to the temperature of your house for about 5-10 minutes, and then take them out. And then I'll show you what they look like. All right. It is 4:44. It went from almost an hour it took for the little silver top button to drop. And so if you notice how I put the lid, I cracked it just a little bit. And in about 5 minutes, about maybe 4:50, 4:55 or something, 5 or 10 minutes, then I'll take the lid off and we will see what they look like. All right, and here we go. I let them set for a while. All right, and here we go. They're sealing as I'm doing this, so we will see. I'll take them all out and I'll give you a little flash. And there they go. They're sealing, as I was hoping you'd hear that, but they sealed. They cook very nicely. There's onions and garlic and everything on top. Some of them are still processing in the jar. And they came out nicely. See, when you see those bubbles in your jars, a lot of people don't realize that this is a part of the process as well. They're still processing. When you see that, that's a good sign. It doesn't happen all the time, but most of the time. But there they are. There are my jars of green beans. All right. God bless you, and thank you for watching. I wanted to try to get a little shot of them in the light because I had the pot sitting there and it was dark. But that's what they look like. All right. Beautiful, beautiful. God is good.